Morning. How are you doing on this quite hot day? I'm in the garden once again because I found a really lovely spot. Up here is where we had a nice little squirrel family, so that's been keeping the kids entertained over the last few months. Today I want to talk about energy. So last night I had a very late night. Good morning. I had a late night because I went to the theatre, one of my favourite things to do, and I went to see Jerusalem, which was, it was something else. This is when all the garden stuff happens, doesn't it? If you ever get the opportunity to see it, please do, because I feel like it's a slice of history. I feel like it's a very important piece of writing, and I just felt like I had a masterclass in acting from Mark Rylance. For goodness sake, incredible. But a friend of mine was in it, and she's an actor who I've known for 20 odd years, and she's always been just such a great friend and mentor, and somebody that I can ask questions to and figure stuff out, basically. And we were talking on the way home about how you prepare for such a thing and how you get that level consistently every night. And at an 8 shows a week show, you want to be giving your best consistently, but not too quickly, so you burn out and then you have to get an understudy or anything like that. And for most parts, that's not an opportunity. So you really have to pace yourself. But also your audience, whether they're booking a matinee today or a matinee 4 months ago or a Saturday night in 3 weeks' time, they're looking for that as well. They're looking for that consistency. They're looking for that level of performance. And one thing that she shared with me was how they really connect as a company and how they pull together so their energy is in alignment with each other. And I found that so fascinating because many of the characters don't actually meet each other. But there is a sense that they're a whole company telling the same story and being part of the same story. And this made me think about business and your personal brand, and how it's really important that all of your components work in harmony with each other. And this isn't necessarily like something that is immediately going to happen or is going to stay the same. And I don't ever think that our businesses are static. I don't think they're ever done. I feel like they're living, breathing scenarios. And so what I mean by this practically is, firstly, as an exercise to really establish what are the parts of your business, what are the moving parts that allow you to do what you do. And so first and foremost, I would maybe write my roles down. So actor, coach, writer, speaker, podcaster, and then write down the other things underneath that. So what are the moving parts in order to get my business working and earning money and doing what it needs to do? So I would look at those sorts of things. Now, there are parts in my business that I find really, really easy. I can do with my eyes closed. I just tune in and, tune in. It's ease and flow, no problem at all. And there are other parts that I have, sorry about the noise, that I have taught myself to get better at, and that they are much more a work in progress. And I notice my own habits as well. Like it might be avoidance. It might be leaving something to the last minute. And I am drawn to certain parts of my business and other parts maybe not so. But what I've learned over the years is, in order to get the growth or the success or the next level of whatever I'm doing, I need to make sure that all of the pieces are working together. And it's that sense, like with our bodies as well, where there might be certain things that you can do really, really easily. And then there might be some things where, I guess it's like if you have a yoga practice, you only have to look around the room and there's so many amazing different types of bodies, but people are making adjustments the whole time. Bring your knee back a little bit, bend your front leg, take the bind if you want to. And people are making adjustments the whole time. And that's what your business is like. It's really about knowing it inside out so you can make the tweaks that you want to make. I submitted my tax return yesterday for next year or this year. Basically, it doesn't have to be done till January. But one of the things I thought was, how nice would it feel to have it done? And I've never ever done that in 20 odd years of being self-employed. I've always been a December, more likely a January person of submitting it and doing that. And I know that if I want to take those things to the next level, I want to really harness and really get to know my numbers and what's happening and really be on top of it. And not on top of it from a place of, you know, it wasn't a problem before, it was absolutely fine, and I got the job done and I submitted everything I needed to. But it was always like almost like an afterthought, or like, oh gosh, you know, after Christmas, tax return time. And I learned to change the energy around that. I learned to go, this is fine. I've got everything that I need to do. It's very straightforward. And again, mindset stuff. It's very straightforward. I've got the support that I need in place. I need to carve out the time and I need to make it a priority. So when I'm talking about energy, like I was referring back to the play that I saw last night, of making sure all of the parts are working in harmony with each other. Firstly, it's knowing what those parts are. Secondly, it's about knowing where there's ease and flow and where there isn't, and where you need to maybe tighten or loosen or release or get some support or ramp things up. It's basically like a sound desk. So you're not going, right, I'm turning everything off or I'm turning everything on. You might just need to adjust the dial a little bit and see what that does. Because I know now that I've done that tax return, this is just the example I'm using, I know that I'm going to make more money now. I'm going to make more money than I thought I was going to make between July and April next year. I just know it because I've created the space for it. I know where I am financially. I know what's going on. I know what's happened. I know where things have maybe not happened. And I now have some clear idea about the adjustments that I need to make. So I hope that's useful for you today. It's definitely useful for me in thinking about things, and I know lots of people are closing down because school is coming to an end, or if it hasn't done already, and it's a really good time just to see your personal brand, your business, your life as a whole situation. So it's not just about making money, it's about all the different elements that you need to pay attention to. Because once you pay attention to it, it just becomes so much easier. That being said, I know that sometimes the things that we have to pay attention to, we don't want to, because it maybe doesn't come easily to us. And I know that years ago I used to have such an issue about talking about money because it felt so exposing. I didn't know how to ask for it. I didn't know how to negotiate. When I first left drama school, I was so keen and grateful to be in the room, and the money was an afterthought. And I really had to work on valuing myself, valuing what I did, valuing the results that I gave, and not just make the money an afterthought, but make it an inclusive conversation in that. So the two things were working alongside each other, as well as all the other things at the same time. I'm going to leave it there. If you've just joined, if you're just listening, feel free to go back. It's a really juicy one today. And as I say, if you haven't seen Jerusalem in the West End, my goodness me, catch it if you can. I think it's on until mid-August, so I cannot recommend it enough. Also, it's 3 hours long, 3 acts, 2 intervals, and I am usually asleep by 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I stayed awake till 5 to 11, and that was just the end of the show. So yeah, that is pretty good going for me, and a really great review if ever you needed one. Thanks so much for joining, as always. Sending lots of love and beautiful light from me to you. All right, I'll see you soon. Bye.